So I was encouraged yesterday. I had a telephone call with a client in one of the dealerships that I work with, and he shared with me how last week, as he was struggling with some issues, he was kind of upset about something, and he was going to go out and meet with his staff and kind of take a strip off of them. He told me how before he did that, my video came in, and it happened to be talking about how we as leaders affect our teams. And he watched that and he changed his approach. And that's exactly why I do these videos. I'm hoping that they will be encouragement to you, that they will be reminders for you on a daily basis, because they deal with topics that you're facing every single day, not just during the COVID-19 crisis that we're in. And a lot of you don't even see it as a crisis anymore, because you're going as life as close to normal as possible. But still you're dealing with leadership issues. And as you deal with leadership issues, it's good to be reminded, because sometimes we don't have enough self-awareness that we need other awareness. And specifically yesterday, it gave me a chance to talk with this specific manager about triggers. And so I wanted to bring a reminder today about this concept called triggers. And normally what happens in life, obviously there's a lot of stresses, and we're generally able to manage our stresses. Sometimes people know when we're stressed by the way that we react to them. And it's almost like the wind blowing in general. We know it's there. It's not generally an issue. We would prefer that life was calm. But every now and then, the stresses mount up and something triggers us. And whether it's that we're trying to get something done, we got a report that's due, and the phone rings, and it happens to be a customer that's upset. Or we have somebody walk into our office and all they're doing is complaining. Or for some people, they might be in an area where even a baby is crying in the distance, and it just is frustrating. And all of a sudden they get triggered and they get upset. And here's why this is such an issue. Leaders, you don't realize that as you operate, you're building up something called leadership capital with your people. It's like a bank account. You're depositing into your leadership bank account through all of the positivity that you bring, the direction you bring, the leadership that you bring, the encouragement that you bring. And then all it takes sometimes is one moment of being triggered where you react, you act out in a really strong way, and it destroys everything that you've been working on up to that point. And so it's important to understand this concept of trigger. And if you're self-aware enough that you can sense when these triggers are coming, awesome. Just find a way to be able to deal with it. And whether it means that you just need to stop and take a deep breath and re-oxygenate yourself. Some people actually have to excuse themselves from a meeting and go out, collect themselves to be able to go back in and deal with things appropriately. Here's the point. When you're triggered, your cortisol spikes and you go into reaction mode. And into reaction mode, we tend to tear into things, we tend to destroy things, we tend to deal with things more aggressively than we otherwise would. And we blame, we shame, we attack people, all those things that destroy your leadership capital. So at those times when you feel the stress is building, and if you could be that self-aware that you know that you potentially are triggered and you can pull yourself back, and this is really tough and it takes time, then make sure that you get to a point where you can respond instead of react. There's a great book written about this if you want to dig deeper by Marshall Goldsmith, and it's called Triggers. And it talks about these areas, how dangerous it is, but yet how you can appropriately deal with it, and so that you don't lose your leadership capital in the process. So I want to encourage you today. I hope you avail yourself of these videos. I hope that they're beneficial to you. I love your feedback. Secondly, I hope that this will help you to become a better leader.